Jake the Glass Guy, congratulations on being nominated for Glazier of the Year.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, really stoked about it. Yeah, quite humbled, really.
So I'm going to ask you where you're from, but before I do that, I got a bit of a confession to make of how stupid I felt trying to figure out the time difference.
Same, mate.
Like, I understand that it's a time difference, but then when it changed days, I was like, does that make it the same? Is that the 16th, but it's the 17th for him? And I just went down this whole rabbit hole of kind of just tripping on
Yeah,
trying to understand time. And
yeah.
anyways,
I was the same.
where are you from? And when you were a child, did you think you'd be a glazer growing up?
Yeah, so I'm from New Zealand. I've grown up pretty much in the Waikato and the King Country. A little place called Tikawiti is where I was first started. Young, I didn't think I would be a glazier. I didn't even know what a glazier was back then. I didn't even know. You don't really think about all the glass that are in houses and who's putting it in there and who's working with it, cutting it. So I never really thought of it as a job. When I was the youngest job I can think I wanted to do was probably police officer and then Air Force. So yeah, definitely not being a glazier, but I definitely love it. I'm glad I have become a glazier, and I definitely won't be leaving this trade anytime soon.
I think those professions are much more on the radar for children when they're trying to decide what
Yeah,
they want to be when they grow up. How did you get
yeah,
into the
right.
glazing industry?
Just by chance, I had a friend that was working. He was manufacturing windows, and he kind of left. He said, "Oh, do you want a job? It's not a great job, but here, you know." So I took that over, and I was just making sashes for ages, and just worked away there. Eventually, worked my way up to sliders, stackers, some of the high end, commercial stuff. And then yeah, I got on really well with the glass guys. The glaziers used to come in, and we always had really good banter. I seemed like they were more my type of person. Yeah, just got on with them for years. I was trying to get them to get me a job, and then finally, after about 2.5 years, they said, "Oh, go down and see these guys. They might have something." So I went down and seen them. Took about a year for me to finally get my foot in the door, and then yeah, joined up with them. Never looked back. One of the best decisions I made, probably.
What's something that may be different for the glass industry in New Zealand that we may not be aware of in the United States?
This one I found a little bit tricky, but for what I could get off the top of my head was like obviously I post videos on social media and stuff. I haven't been overseas, so I'm not too sure what it's like over there. But from just going off what people are telling me, over here we seem to do things quite a bit differently in the ways of we still have a lot of the old windows, like wooden joinery, a lot of native timber joinery over here, a lot of single pane glass still. Yeah, the quality of the wood over here, the native timber seems to last a lot longer here. So people are just still using it, still repairing it to this day, and they'll probably still keep repairing it for another 30 years. So there's a lot of that type of work that goes on still. Plus our vans, that's another thing I've found out through social media is quite a unique thing that New Zealand and Australia have with the side mounted glass racks and the style of vans that we use over here, which I think is quite a cool, unique sort of thing that New Zealand has. And just the artistic style of some of the stuff we do, like some of the splashbacks people choose with big nature pictures and stuff like that. I just think that's kind of a unique kind of a New Zealand thing, possibly.
So you don't like install the glass backwards?
No, upside down.
Right. What are some projects that you've worked on?
So some of the bigger projects I've worked on, being a small town residential glazier, I haven't worked on massive projects, but I have teamed up and I've worked with bigger companies in my past jobs. So there was a big library project we did in Rotorua. It was a big like glass enclosure using spider fittings and frameless glass and such. And that was one of the bigger projects I've worked on. That was a couple of weeks there. Our Prime Minister come and she actually opened the building once we were finished it and stuff like that. I found that really cool. That was when I was still an apprentice doing that. So that was one of the first projects I worked on. And then a couple of big buildings in Hamilton, which is the local city that's near us. Just big skyscraper buildings, just doing glazing on them. That's kind of some of the bigger projects. For smaller projects, I do a lot of art, like custom art splashbacks. So
Yeah,
I do a lot
yeah.
of those.
I wanna chime in real quick. You're underselling some of the residential work that you do. So, first of all, if you're on TikTok, you can find Jake. It's at Jake the Glass Guy, right?
Yeah, it is. Yep, Jake the
And
Glass
you can
guy.
see some of the cool residential stuff he's doing, some of the custom stuff he's doing. I mean, you're also making like glass, is it glass jewelry, glass pendants?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm wearing one at the moment. It's a glass pendant I made.
Yeah, so you're doing a lot of unique stuff with the glass. Go ahead,
Yeah.
give us some of the residential stuff.
Yeah, so the art splashbacks, that's one of my favorite. I like to design custom art splashbacks. And also, yeah, just the small projects. I get asked about a lot of things like fixing old antique clocks. I've got this was a little Christmas project I did. This is quite popular. I've had that many people try and get me to ship this thing places, but yeah, you just can't ship something like this.
Probably not. I don't think it would make it. I did see that on your TikTok. And by the way, you've kind of, I do think it's unique. You've kind of found a niche on TikTok that you're not only showcasing the glass stuff, but you've got into the ASMR stuff, which I think is cool. If you're on TikTok, go check them out. Jake, how would you define a glazer?
A glazer, for me, what I think a glazier is someone, obviously someone who works with glass, aluminium, wood to make glass work for the application they need. But generally, a glazier, they know a lot about, not a lot, but different things about different trades, because we come across a lot of times we need to know a little bit of light sparky work, light plumbing, whatever it is. So they seem to, be quite a master of all trades. Really good problem solvers, I think glaziers are. I find that, the best glaziers, they are problem solvers, because we get people come in with, some kind of random project and we're expected to work it out and design it and install it and make it beautiful.
How would you define a leader?
A leader, someone who can teach and help their fellow colleagues, employees. Should be able to show that he's not afraid to get his hands dirty in the trenches with the boys if they need to. Lead from the front. I've had a few apprentices over the years, and I've found that it's been the best way. For me, when I was an apprentice, I found that the bosses that would actually get out there and do the work with me were, more respected, and you're more likely to listen to them and take on board what they have to say than someone who's just, sitting in the office telling you do this, do that. You want your leader to be there, showing you how to do it, teaching you the proper ways, teaching you the best way to do it, not holding information back because they don't want you to find something out. That's what I think a leader is.
What's your goal for the next 5 years?
In 5 years, so I've just started my own little company. I started in September. So that's really my project at the moment, is just to build this little company up. So yeah, I have a lot I want to do with this company, but also I have my social media presence that I am working on heavily. I've been doing that for a year. So I want to just keep working on that. Obviously that's gotten me for this interview. It's gotten me a lot of, it's interesting what you can do with social media. So I just plan to work on that. I do have a small online store I've started. I'm going to start building on that more with more glazing products, more different types of art. I'll be having these pendants on there. I am looking to upgrade my workshop. So I want to have a workshop where I actually have a side area of a glass blowing studio as well.
So what steps do you need to take to achieve those goals?
Pretty much I'm just going to carry on doing what I do. I'm a very determined guy. I'm a hard worker. I'm super competitive too. And yeah, my mates around here, they own the local glass companies. So between us, we're all quite competitive, and it pushes us all to do better and do better than the last guy. So I'm just going to keep doing that. Just keep doing what I do, and just keep on going.
Competition is healthy, man.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you said something that sticks with me too. The social media stuff. Maybe I was guilty of this too, and I think a lot of people are. Is you kind of see social media and you kind of think it's stupid or cringy or something. But man, if you start doing it and you stay consistent with it, stuff happens. Like stuff just happens.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I don't really know how to explain that, but stuff happens.
Yeah, definitely. Like I don't have a massive following, and it's not a bad following, but that social media has kicked this company off. I wouldn't have started this company without the social media, and just it really kicked it off, realizing lots of people do love this, and it could become something, and it has kicked it off, and it's been great, and I've not looked back. So.
Well, good. Hey, Jake, congratulations, not only on your success, but being nominated for Glazier of the Year, and best of luck, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's good talk.
All right. Take care.
Cheers, man. Thank you.